Hey Jules, Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. I want to talk about body dysmorphia and the toxic diet culture. And that actually is the name of the article that I'm going to reference, which of course I will put in the description of this video. But yes, for people who are checking in on me in terms of my dizziness, what is that called again? Vertigo? Yeah, I'm still dizzy. It's not as bad. Like the room isn't spinning anymore, but I still have oppression and I'm still kind of going side to side when I walk. But I have to get to work tomorrow. Like that's just straight up. I do not have COVID, yay God. I did say thy will not mine be done. And if you want to give me COVID, go ahead because I could really use a 5-day break. Because people don't care about vertigo. Like what? Who cares? You're dizzy. We can't see it per se. But COVID, yeah, they care. But God said no. I'm negative. So I'm going to accept that and get to work. All right, so let's talk about this article. And I purposely chose an image of a man because people don't realize how much men stress out too. You know, men diet too, men worry too. So men play games with food as well, you know. And that's the toxic diet culture that comes with that, right? So my situation is that I put on a lot of weight last year, just kind of playing with different food programs. But a lot of it was a manifestation because when I started to do well and lose my weight, I panicked. And in my mind's eye, I'm just a really heavy obese person. And luckily, God woke me up midway because I started to literally manifest that again. And it's really unfortunate that I've been in a diet, mentality since third grade, and that I haven't felt myself worthy of just being healthy and living in the body that God designed for me. So you can actually affirm yourself into obesity, straight up. So prayers all around on that, but I'm working on it. Okay, so this says body dysmorphia and the toxic diet culture. The toxic diet culture has resulted in an exponential, remember that's like where it just rapidly expands, rise in individuals suffering from body dysmorphia. And this is that whole social media thing where everybody's only presenting their best face, right? The media plays a paramount role in causing this psychiatric disorder. It's actually considered a psychiatric disorder where they highly recommend that you get literal clinical help from a doctor. That's how bad it becomes. According to Dr. John Mayer, a clinical psychologist, body dysmorphia disorder, or BDD, is a pervasive perception that your body is different and more negative appearing than the actual facts, no matter how many times you are presented with the facts. And that's kind of what I was going through. I kept telling my sister, oh my gosh, I look like my 600-pound life, and oh, I can't go to that party because people are going to see it. And she was like, Juliana, calm down. You've been heavier than you are right now. You don't look that bad. Like, check your tags, honey. Get a reality check. It got really bad in the last few months as school was approaching. I was really freaking out. And I didn't want to buy clothes that fit per se because, oh my gosh, if I get the next size, I'll get bigger. Well, and wearing a size that didn't fit not only made me look bad, but it was so physically uncomfortable that I was really mentally punishing myself for feeling extremely obese and uncomfortable. So, by grace, my husband and I went and bought some clothes that fit. And I panicked, and he was like, do you want me to pull the tags out? It wasn't as bad as I thought when I finally got into the clothes. I didn't have to get the bigger clothes. At first I picked clothes 4 sizes bigger and worked my way back down to the reality, which is still bigger than I want, but not the insanity of what I feared it was. I really struggle, people. You guys are so kind in my Jules Blessed Vegan community, but I really struggle, And I have friends who are very thin right now. They're anorexic by definition because the BMI, basic metabolic index, anything below 17 and a half Really, anything below 18 and a half, an adult is supposed to be about 18 and a half. But for all different reasons, 17 and a half is acceptable. Below 17 and a half, 16 and a half, 15 and a half, 14 and a half is a clinical diagnosis of anorexia, and people need to seek help. Like, that's just straight up. And some people are like, oh, but I can like intuitively know what to eat. Well, you intuitively got yourself down to anorexia. So can you really trust yourself? And same thing. Oh, I can intuitively just, well, I intuitively put myself right up into the obesity bracket again. So can I really trust myself? Anyway, people with body dysmorphia spend hours a day obsessing over real or imagined flaws and take excessive and sometimes drastic measures to hide their perceived flaws from others. And I kind of just had to say, joke's on me. Everybody sees me every day. They know my arms are heavy. They know my situation. The only one in the dark is me. Like, calm down, right? When I started playing like all the games. Body features that people with BDD, and again, body dysmorphia disorder, commonly fixate include body shape, breast size, muscle size, which is called bigorexia, facial features, skin and veins, genitalia, and hair. The symptoms are obsessing over your body flaws, real or perceived, social anxiety, trouble focusing on things other than the flaws, meaning you just can't stop thinking about it. I so get that. Oh my gosh, like when I count my teeth. I just sit there counting my teeth again and again. I've had 28 forever. 2 of my wisdom teeth didn't come in, the other 2 didn't come down. I have 28 teeth, but I'll count them again and again. On one of my feet, the whatever toe this is next to the little toe is a tiny bit shorter than on the other foot. It freaked me out so bad one day I wanted to vomit. There's nothing I could do. Like, that's just where my feet were made. I've had them my whole life. Like, that's on God. But I was freaking out. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like, that's what I mean. I just come from really bad disordered thinking. It's so hard. And it goes right there with all of my my alcohol, my pills, my food, all my addictive thought processes. It's so sad. But I'm blessed in many ways, and this is just my thing to overcome. But yeah, if you can't relate, then you honestly can't relate. And you got to be careful when you're trying to shut someone down, because it's real. All of these things are just so real. So, obsessive mirror checking and dodging mirrors altogether. I'm the dodger. I will go into the restroom, I'll wash my hands, I'll do all the things, and I'll come out. My student will say, Mr. Can't you have ink on your cheek? Didn't you see it in the bathroom? No, because I didn't actually look in the mirror. I'm one of those. I never actually zoom in, right? It's so sad. Other people just can't stop looking. Compulsive behaviors such as excoriation and frequent changing of clothes. Oh God, I had to go to an event the other day. My husband was waiting for me in the car. He finally came in and he's like, what the flip? I had the room torn apart. I had tried on every freaking combination of clothes I possibly could. I was like trying so hard not to cry. I couldn't do it. I was paralyzed. I so get that. A strong belief that you have a defect in your physical appearance that makes you ugly or deformed. Sadly, I can so relate. It's so sad. Believing that others take particular note of your appearance negatively or ridicule you. That's what's so sad. People only care about themselves at the end of the day, right? And it seems really egotistical to suggest that when I enter a room, people are going to focus on me. The only way I got to my mom's 90th birthday, and I wanted to show you guys, because this was the cutest flyer. It was actually the menu, and it was a lovely menu. But they had done this darling thing, and here's my mom and dad, so cute when they got married. Are you kidding me? 18 and 20 years old. And my mom loved horses. Here she is pregnant with her first kid. What? That's when people were full of grace. And this wedding dress she made herself. It had so much intricate beading and everything. She sewed it herself. Are you kidding me? Anyway, to get to that party, I just had to keep telling myself they won't care, Julie. They're not going to look at you. No one's spending time on you, Juliana. Da da da, like on and on and on. It was really, really hard. And to be fair, my sisters always thought of me as their little baby doll, right? They love to take me and do my hair and put on makeup and do my eyebrows and all this stuff. And even now, you know, in my 50s, they still seemingly want to fix me. It makes my husband crazy. He hates it. He's like, tell them to just leave you alone. I can't believe they still pull you into the bedroom and touch you up. And I say, honey, they're just playing, they just think of me as their little sister. But I get it, as loving and fun as it is, there's a sense that I'm not enough. Yeah, so it's super stressful. So it says, like other psychological disorders, body dysmorphia is likely caused due to a combination of biological, so it's just in your blood, like my, I can't even think, people, because I'm still dizzy, but I want to be present. Can't believe I can't think of it. Anyway, biological, it's in the blood. I so get that. My addiction was in me generations ago. When they said Scotch Irish, they meant heavy on the Scotch. I mean, that's just straight up. My bipolar disorder in my blood. So all of that. Environmental. Yeah, the over 6,000 images, right, a day coming at us of advertising. Neurological and genetic, like all of that. The risk of developing this disorder are heightened if an individual suffers from other psychiatric disorders, such as depression or anxiety. I always did have anxiety, but I was able to push through. In fact, I was forced to push through because my family said, too bad, get on with it. And that's okay. The depression is something I fight through every single day. I'm love and light, and people say it all day long. Call yourself joyful, da da da. But I have clinical depression, and I have to push through that every day. Body dysmorphia often goes by noticed or undiagnosed, either because people are too ashamed to admit their body insecurities and concerns, or because they fail to realize that their obsession is in fact a psychiatric disorder. And to act and feel the aforementioned way is not normal. Diet toxic culture, the toxic diet culture. Related to body dysmorphia, another phenomenon is the toxic diet culture that has unfortunately become the standard for almost every other person around us. It was bad enough way before social media, starting in 3rd grade. But now it's just insanity, right? And then also the way that if you click on one thing online, it locates you essentially and sends you a ton more articles, information, and ads on that exact thing. Diet culture is a societal belief system that equates health to thinness, promoting unrealistic body ideals under the semblance of healthy living and what is desired. This notion is deeply embedded in almost all societies across the globe and has therefore resulted in the toxic celebration of limited and disciplined eating and cultural praise for weight loss. Yeah, it was so sad. My partner, one of my friends, had lost some weight, and somebody acknowledged it. She hadn't even known. She's just a normie. She doesn't diet. She hadn't even noticed, and this person who obviously is very disciplined and seriously watches everything they do mentioned it, and she was like, oh wow, really? Gosh, thanks, And I thought it'd be so beautiful if people didn't acknowledge weight loss or weight gain, because it's like the cheapest common denominator of what we point out about each other. So it says, as a culture, we continue to equate thinness with wellness and weight loss with effort. Thin equals healthy, fat equals unhealthy, losing weight equals accomplishment, gaining weight equals laziness. And the thing is, there's always a backstory, right? I mean, sure, you can praise someone for being thin, and they're going to love it probably. But is there any chance that their thinness is actually them dying on the vine? Whether it's from cancer or chemo or uh, disordered eating. Is there any chance of that? Is there any chance that that heavier person has been dealing with a death and, or a real thyroid situation, or like there's some story? And to just reduce it to that common denominator of either praise or put down, it's unfortunate. The diet industry is consequently thriving off and profiting from individuals' insecurities. So true, right? They promote body dissatisfaction by claiming to fix your appearance. Moreover, to adapt to the facts, the dieting industry camouflages its psychologically damaging campaigns through claims of healthier lifestyles. Henceforth, people only believe they should lose weight because of the fat phobic message society is sending them. Body dysmorphia is a psychological disorder that requires treatment. Please do not take it lightly. Anyone who believes that they have BDD must seek immediate medical attention. That's straight up. Anyway, super interesting and tragic in a way, right? Because, again, I've never been free in my body ever, which is kind of why I was willing to gain weight this past year on playing the different ways of eating, to try and get past my restrictive eating, to try and get past my obsessive compulsive whatever, and I was kind of willing to risk it because even when I've been thin, and I have been thin many times as an adult, I never accepted it. I never believed it. I was always afraid it was something that could be taken from me. And I gained the 100 pounds back 6 times, right? Lost and gained 6 times. Sadly, I'm on my 7th time right now. It's really sad. I want to be safe in my body. I want to believe that God has a plan and that I can just freely exist, and that my body doesn't belong to anyone. It always belonged to someone else, whether it was through sexual abuse, whether it was through the dieting, the put downs, whether I was on a competitive team, from either swim team to drill team to whatever. I felt like my body always belonged to somebody else. And I need to get to the point where, while I'm still living, that it belongs to me and that I'm safe in my body. Straight up, right? Can you relate? As always, if you like, join us. If you haven't, subscribe. And truly let me know in the comments below how I can help you. Do you have body dysmorphia? Have you at times? Do you need to get help? Consider all of that, people. It's real. And I'm going to consider it too. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.